Bill Gates' new project is to turn off the sun, and the leadership of the European Union shares his views on this. In this venture, he'll use experimental geomechanics. UN supports Bill Gates' plan to fight global warming, quote unquote, by blocking out the sun. The European Union, EU, has backed Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates' radical plans to fight global warming by blocking light from the sun to lower the Earth's temperature. The EU will join the global effort to examine the plan's effectiveness. Governments of many nations join unelected bureaucratic bodies to determine whether large-scale intervention, such as deflecting the sun's rays or altering the Earth's weather patterns, are viable options to fight climate change. As Slate News previously reported, Bill Gates has long supported the plan to combat global warming by using experimental geoengineering to block the sun. The idea, promoted by Gates and left-wing billionaire George Soros, involves pumping artificial white clouds into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight away from the planet's surface. The radical plan would lower the planet's temperature and, according to its promoters, fight global warming. Soros claims the technology will help prevent the ice sheets from melting. In particular, he claimed the melting ice sheets in Greenland could destroy human civilization. Soros said, "Our civilization is in danger of collapsing because of the inexorable progress of climate change. The melting of the Greenland ice sheet would raise concern of the ocean levels by 7 meters. That's about, 21, 23 feet. This is a threat to the survival of our civilization," he says. The method pushed by Bill Gates involves increasing aerosol concentrations in the stratosphere to reflect solar radiation away from our Earth. Gates is funding a major project at Harvard University using balloons to develop aerosols. However, Gates' project at Harvard was shut down after public backlash over the design. The EU is assessing the security implications of global warming, such as the potential for water or food shortages to trigger conflict and migration, according to a draft document seen by Bloomberg. Part of this assessment includes studying the potential risks of rebuilding the atmosphere. These technologies introduce new risks to people and ecosystems, and could also increase power imbalances between nations, fuel conflict, and raise a myriad of ethical, legal, political, and governance issues, according to the document, which is subject to change. The launch of this investigation thrust the EU into a debate over whether so-called climate geoengineering is good science or just a science fiction distraction. Such geoengineering projects have potentially dangerous implications for the planet and its atmosphere. The bloc would like to see international discussions on creating rules for the fledgling sector. The EU will support international efforts to comprehensively assess the risks and uncertainties of climate interventions, including solar radiation modification, according to the document. Such large-scale interventions have emerged alongside scientific progress and growing concern that nations will exceed the Green Agenda's goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Blocking the sun's rays is now often promoted as a plan to deal with the so-called climate crisis. Critics warn, however, that such a drastic plan as blocking up the sun could have unintended side effects such as changing vital rain patterns or overcooling the Earth and sending the planet into an ice age. Some scientists have called for an international non-use agreement for such solutions. Other experts, meanwhile, argue that reports of a climate crisis are a hoax designed to install fear in the public in an attempt to raise taxes and curtail freedoms. As previously reported, renowned environmentalist Dr. Patrick Moore, co-founder of Greenpeace, warns the public that the anti-carbon narrative it is not all it is told to be. Moore, a conservationist and environmental activist for more than 50 years, argues that an increased level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is beneficial. According to Moore, claims that climate change is man-made are propaganda, which he describes as dangerous. The comments by Moore, a leading environmentalist, are in direct conflict with the Green Agenda, promoted by the Biden administration and globalist groups such as the United Nations and World Economic Forum. When Moore said, when Greenpeace started, we had a strong humanitarian orientation to save civilization from destruction by total nuclear war. Over the years of peace, Greenpeace has gradually disappeared in my organization. In my organization, he says, along which most of the environmental movement has been led to believe that humans are the enemies of the earth. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.